Hello class, I thought I would do an overview of the assignment for this week because it is a big assignment and worth a lot of points, and I want to make sure that you are successful when you do this assignment. So what I'm planning to do is go over the instructions and rubric and then show you an example of what one would look like. I know I'm a visual person, and if I see what one looks like, then it's easier for me to do. Now, all of these assignments, this assignment is an accumulation of your past work. You've already done slides. You have used the PICO formula or format, and you are citing now in APA format. And so you have all the components to get all the points in this assignment. So let's just start with the instructions. You need to have a title slide and a reference slide, which is not included in the slides of the presentation. So number 2 says there should be 5 to 7 slides and links, not including the title and reference slides. If you think about it, you count your slides at the end. They have to be a minimum of 7 slides. And please remember, you need a reference slide. You're doing scholarly work and you need to cite your sources. The next, once you have the reference, the title side, you're going to talk about evidence-based practice and a model framework for evidence-based practice. And you must identify the framework or model you are going to present and include that steps in your slide as far as how you're going to do that. So that should be on the first slide. It might be one slide or 2 slides. Then your area of interest. You've already made a slide regarding that. You can use that same information. State your clinical question in the PICO T format. The next one is you're going to do a library search. Now remember, that's using Learn or Ovid and looking at journals that are scholarly. I don't want websites, not Wikipedia. This time it says journals. So you need to use a scholarly journal. So you're going to have to go on those websites. Um, Another thing you're going to be doing, and this might make a little bit more sense by showing you an example, is describe your literature search, including the database, your audit trail, what terms were searched, how was the search narrowed. So while you're doing this, take notes. Um, Find what you based your findings in the literature and your answer to your question. So depending upon, let's say I'm researching if restraints work in a nursing home, such as the restraints that you put on the patient, or if no restraints work, I would look in the literature to see what's available. Is there anything that talks about this? What does it say? What is the answer to the research? Yes or no? So that belongs in that area. And then describe how you're going to use this in your own nursing care. What are your recommendations? Should you or should you not, in my case, use restraints? Is there further research involved? So make sure when you are doing this, you are answering these questions. Make sure you include citations. And citation means that in your text, you are telling me where you got it from. And the important thing in that is do it correctly. If you have forgotten, I put out several announcements and in the discussion board how to cite. And within a reference, depending upon how you're citing, you're going to include the last name, the date, and if it's a quotation, you have to put it as page numbers. It would be P dot and the page number or numbers. And then make sure you're citing in APA format on your reference page. So please go back and review that. And that's where this last slide will come into play. Biggest, what you need to know in this presentation is you do have to include speaker notes, and that's where describes most of this information, which is not on your slide. I'll show you an example so you can get to see what that looks like. Here's your rubric. I'm going to slide down and use this one. So 30 points. goes for describing the framework, your area of interest, your literature search, what did you find, what's your recommendation. If you count this, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides right there. So that's your minimum title page and the reference page separate. Um, Citations, 15 points for that. Make sure you're using proper grammar, spelling, use spell check. And that will be how you will get your points. Now let me show you an example of what this looks like. So this is a previous student who I did ask if we could use her presentation, and she agreed. And so let me go back here. Here is her title page. Um, the only thing I would do in this is not have a blank space, but put a clip art or something in that. Here's where she kept her notes. Okay, so they're down here. So now we're going to go to the next slide. This is she's talking about evidence-based practice. And here is her research on it. And here are her citations. So you can see what that looks like there. She's got quite a few notes regarding evidence-based practice, even though the slide has a few words on it. So your slide is bullet points. Your information is down here in the notes. Here's her study, why she chose that study, what she found in the research. Hold on, I gotta move down here a minute. Okay. Um, Again, what she found in the research. The outcomes. And again, this is more, I think I need to get to the next one. Again, outcomes, what happened with the vaccination of children who were not, the importance of vaccinating, her conclusion and her recommendations. And again, in these other slides, she included the impact on her own personal practice. The audit trail, don't forget the audit trail. What did you do to get this information? What were your sources? Those types of things. And last but not least is for reference page. And these are referenced appropriately. Make sure that when you're referencing, you're following APA format. You do this should actually say retrieved from. She has got retrieved on that date from, so that's okay. And her journal articles on that. So that basically is a very quick overview of how you can be successful in this assignment. And if you have any questions, please email me and let me know. Call me or email me. I want you to get a very good grade on this. Thanks and good luck with your assignment.